Hello my dear students, today I am going to discuss about earth magnetism, which is part 2 of chapter number 5, that is magnetism and matter. In this chapter we are going to discuss about the magnetic property of the earth, how the earth behaves like a bar magnet. So many theories have been suggested by so many scientists, like in 16th century Sir William Gilbert had suggested that there is the magnetic material inside the core of the earth, due to which the earth behaves as a bar magnet, permanent bar magnet, and it possesses the magnetism properties. After that, Professor Blackett comes in the picture, and he has suggested that as the earth is rotating with respect to its own axis, that is why there are the charged particles which are present inside the core of the earth, and these charged particles are nothing but the proton and the electron, and due to their circulatory motion with earth only, due to which there is a magnetism, you can say earth's magnetic field take place, and it behaves like a bar magnet, and there is a magnetism property which is generated due to these charged ions. After that, the theory have been suggested with respect to the cosmic rays, in which it has been suggested that as the cosmic rays used to enter in the atmosphere of the earth, and due to which the gas particles get ionized, and due to this ionization and their circulatory motion with respect to earth only, there is a earth magnetic field which generates and give rise to the magnetism property in the earth. After that, Sir E. Bullard and W. M. Laster has suggested that earth inside the core, it is very hot, and so many metals are present in the liquid form, and this hot and molten form of liquid give rise to the highly conducting region due to these free ions, and due to these the current loops used to form, and hence they gives rise to the earth magnetism properties, and due to which earth behaves like a bar magnet. Now in this particular part I am going to discuss about the earth magnetism. Here we are going to see the earth and its magnetic field lines, how there are the bar magnets, how we can assume that there is a bar magnet, what is the geographical axis, what is the magnetic axis, as well as we are going to discuss about the geographical and magnetic meridian, all the basic definition which are related to the earth magnetism. So over here you can see the two lines, one is denoted with the green color, and that particular line is assumed that it is passing through the bar magnet which was initially assumed, and this particular line passing through that bar magnet is considered as the geographical axis, and at this particular point there is a geographical north, and at this particular point there is a geographical south, and initially it was considered that the magnetic field lines are generated from the north pole, and these are terminated at the south pole, and the arrowhead is like this, and this is the particular you can say axis has been assumed by the initial scientists, as this is the axis of rotation of earth. So at this particular angle the earth is rotating, and this particular axis is considered as the geographical axis. After that, so many experiments have been done, and we have come to know that this is not the actual you can say actual axis for the magnet, and these are not the actual north pole and the south pole for the earth magnetism. After that we come to know about that the actual north lies at particular this point, the actual north lies actually at this particular point, and the actual south lies at particular this point from where these yellow lines have been shown. And it has also found out that in this particular case the magnetic field lines, initially we have considered that these are generated from this geographical north and terminating at the geographical south, but it was not like that. After so many experiments performed by the so many scientists, and we come to know about that the magnetic field lines are generated from the magnetic south pole, and these are terminating at the magnetic north pole that I have shown at these two points. That means the actual magnetic field lines are generated from this point, and these are terminated at this point, and the direction has been assumed initially was wrong, and it is from, you can say, from the geographical south to geographical north direction is the actual direction of the magnetic field line. Now in this case we can see that the geographical axis do not coincide with the magnetic axis due to, as these are not overlapping with each other, so due to that there is an angle between the geographical meridian and the magnetic meridian. In the very next video we are going to discuss about the basic definition related to the earth magnetism. So just see that the earth magnetism and basic definition. So first definition is the geographical axis, which is also called as the polar axis, and this is the axis initially we have just considered. So a straight line passing through the geographical pole of the earth, that is from north pole to south pole, you can take it is the axis of rotation of earth, and this particular axis is considered as the geographical axis for you can say initially where we have assumed our bar magnet in the core of the earth that we have assumed, due to which it was showing the magnetism property. Now after that there is a geographical meridian. Now what do you mean by the geographical meridian? Geographical meridian is nothing but a vertical plane which is passing through the geographical axis, or you can say from the geographical north to geographical south pole. It is same as like you are cutting a fruit vertically from top to downward. So that particular knife is nothing but, you can say, the plane which is a vertical plane which is cutting that particular you can say object from top to down in the two equal parts. So over here I wish to show you with respect to the diagram. So if this is the earth and this is the geographical axis as it is with respect to the rotation of earth omega. So over here any vertical plane from this geographical north to this geographical south, so say this is the vertical plane that I am assuming. So this is the vertical plane which is just cutting out the earth into two equal parts vertically from north to south direction. So this is a vertical plane, again I am repeating, this is a vertical plane passing through the geographical north and geographical south of the earth, and it is going to divide the earth into two equal parts. Now in the very next case I am going to discuss about the geographical equator. Now what is geographical equator? It is nothing but it is a great circle on the earth's surface in a plane perpendicular to the geographical axis. Any point on the geographical equator is equidistant from the geographical pole. So how we can understand this particular part? Again I wish to make the diagram. In this particular case you can assume this to be the earth and say this is the geographical axis. So any plane horizontally you can assume like from this point to this point, and it is a complete circle in the, you can say, with a fixed radius which is cutting the earth in the two equal parts. One is the top hemisphere and another one is the northern and southern hemisphere, you can consider, in which from the center everywhere, as it is the radius you can say considered, so at this particular point everywhere it is at the equidistance with respect to the this particular you can say geographical equator. So this is called as the geographical equator, which is dividing the earth into two equal parts horizontally and give rise to the northern and southern hemisphere. And but in this particular case this cutting has been done with respect to the geographical axis. Now in the very next case I am going to discuss about the magnetic axis. So as later on when the so many experiments have been done, we come to know about that the geographical axis is not the actual axis for the earth's bar magnet, as we have assumed that earth behaves like a bar magnet. So we come to know about that the geographical north and south pole is lying somewhere near 11.5 degrees away from the geographical north and geographical south pole. So a straight line passing through the magnetic pole on the earth it is inclined to the geographical axis nearly at the angle of 11.5 degree. So in this particular case, I am only considering the NCERT data. Over there the angle have been given like this only, so I am considering this. Now this angle gives rise take place basically. Why? Because there is the variation between the geographical axis and the magnetic axis. As these are not coinciding with each other, that means there is a difference between the two, and that difference is the angular displacement, that is 11.5 degrees. Now in the very next case, what is magnetic meridian? So magnetic meridian is nothing but it is a vertical plane passing through the magnetic north and the south pole of the earth. Similarly, as we have just in the geographical meridian, we have consider a plane vertically downward which is passing through the geographical north to geographical south. Similarly, from the magnetic axis, which is the actual axis of the bar magnet. So over here I am considering, say this is the actual magnetic axis. So this is the magnetic north pole and this is the magnetic south pole. Hence over here this vertical plane which is passing through this magnetic north to magnetic south, and it is also dividing the earth into two equal parts vertically downward, like cutting an apple into two equal pieces. So this is the vertical plane and this is also called as the magnetic meridian. Now we are shifting to the very next definition, which is the magnetic equator. Similarly, as the geographical equator is there, similarly with respect to magnetic axis, a great circle on the surface of earth in a plane perpendicular to the magnetic axis, that means the reference here is the magnetic axis. Any point on the magnetic equator is equidistant from the magnetic pole, and here also it is dividing the earth into two equal parts. One will be the northern hemisphere, another one will be the southern hemisphere, but it is always with respect to the magnetic axis, as here we have the reference as the magnetic axis. Now in the very next case, we are going to discuss about the angle of declination. Now what do you mean by angle of declination? So first of all we are going to discuss about the definition, and then we are going to discuss with the other terms. So the angle between the magnetic meridian and the geographical meridian at a place is declination at that particular place or at that particular point. Now why the angle of declination take place? Because as we know that the geographical axis and magnetic axis do not coincide with each other. With respect to that, there will be an angle of declination. So in this particular case, angle of declination is given by the angle between the magnetic meridian and the geographical meridian at a place is declination at that place or at that particular point, where at that point we have considered. So over here we have considered, in this particular diagram you can see we have considered a vertical plane by the, you can say, yellowish green color, which is called as the geographical meridian, and then with the gray color we have shown the magnetic meridian. If we join these two from one end, then we can get this particular angle theta, and this particular angle theta is nothing but angle of declination. So now in the very next case we are going to discuss about the, you can say, various points related to the angle of declination. So first point, it says that it varies from place to place. So every time we cannot say that the angle of declination is constant. It varies with respect to the position of the object which is changing. So it varies from place to place. Now in the very next case, what is the next point related to the earth's magnetism? That is the angle of dip, or you can say angle of inclination. Now we are going to define the angle of inclination. So the definition is the angle between the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field and Earth's resultant magnetic field at a place is dip or inclination at that point. If in simple word I wish to tell you, it is the angle between the BH component and the B component of the Earth, where B is the actual magnetic field, direction of magnetic field of the Earth, and BH is the horizontal component of that Earth magnetic field. So the angle between these two will give rise to the angle of inclination or angle of dip. So in this particular diagram we will see where the angle of inclination or dip is present. So here you can see that we have divided this particular B component, which is the actual direction of the earth, in terms of its two rectangular component in the rectangular coordinate system. So we have got one component which is residing with respect to the horizontal axis and one is which is residing with the vertical axis. So this particular component BH is considered as the horizontal component, and this particular component which is, you can say, residing or pointing towards the vertical axis, or you can say with respect to y axis, you can consider x and y2 axis, you can consider with respect to this particular vertical plane. So with respect to x axis we have the horizontal component of earth, and with respect to y axis we have the vertical component of earth, which is 90 degrees to the BH component. Now we wish to calculate the BH, BV and B simultaneously in terms of this angle of inclination or angle of dip. Now we can calculate the BH and BV component, which are the horizontal and vertical components respectively of earth magnetic field. So by using the resolution vector concept over here, so if we want to calculate the BV and BH, it can be calculated in terms of angle of inclination. So over here BV will be equal to B sin del, and your BH will be given by B cos del, and this is how you can get the BV and BH component. So in the next part we are going to discuss about this only. So first point related to the angle of inclination only, it is 0 at the equator and it is 90 degrees at the pole. So with respect to the orientation, you can just come to know about how the angle of BH component is changing with the resultant earth magnetic field, and according to that, if on the equator we want to calculate, then the BH component and earth resultant magnetic field component will be parallel to each other, they are coinciding with each other. At that particular case, at equator it will be 0, and in case of 90 degrees at pole, you can see that the exactly at the BH component with respect to the pole, if you will see, so this will be the BH component and this will be the resultant earth magnetic field. Then at this particular point you can see that these are perpendicular to each other, and hence the angle will be the 90 degree. Now what is neutral point? A neutral point is a point where the resultant magnetic field is 0, and it is the point where the magnetic field due to the magnet is equal and opposite to the horizontal component of the earth magnetic field. That means the net resultant magnetic field, that is, you can say, experienced by any of the object will become 0 as the magnetic field are equal but opposite. So this definition is very important. You should know what is the neutral point in case of earth magnetism. Now in the very next point we are going to calculate the horizontal component of the earth magnetic field or the vertical component, and hence the total you can say magnitude of the resultant magnetic field in terms of angle of inclination or angle of dip. So now you can see that the total intensity of the earth's magnetic field does not lie in any horizontal plane. Instead it lies along the direction at an angle of dip to the horizontal axis. So now we are going to see it. So horizontal component of earth magnetic field is simply given by BH is equal to B cos del, as in the previous slide I have just calculated and shown you how it is equal to BH is equal to B cos del. And now in the very next case, vertical component of the earth magnetic field is given as B sin del. Now the resultant of the earth's magnetic field B is equal to under the root of B square plus BV square plus BH square, as these are the two components which gives rise to the resultant earth magnetic field. So magnitude we can calculate with respect to, again I am repeating the resolution vector, where in 11th class you have studied about that R is equal to under the root of A square plus B square for calculating the magnitude of this particular resolution vector. So over here A square is nothing but BV square and B square is nothing but BH square, and hence we have calculated the magnitude. Similarly, we can calculate the direction of earth magnetic field by applying the tangent law. Now what is the tangent law? So first of all, see the diagram in which with respect to this particular magnet we have considered the you can say BH component with respect to the equator. Clear? The magnetic axis you can take. So this is called the magnetic axis, this is called the magnetic equator, and at this point you are going to get the BH component. So and at this particular point you are going to get the BV component, and over here the resultant will be the B component. So now with respect to the diagram we will see. So this is the BH component and this is the BV component, and with respect to these two, the earth magnetic field has its own direction as it is the resultant vector of these two magnetic field vectors. So it is, you can say, inclined towards the BH component with the angle del, which is called as angle of declination, angle of inclination or angle of dip. Now with respect to definition, we'll see if a magnetic needle is suspended in a region where two uniform magnetic fields are perpendicular to each other, the needle will align itself along the direction of the resultant field, as just we have seen in the diagram of the two field at an angle del, such that the tangent of the angle is the ratio of the two fields, that is tangent del, which is the angle of inclination, and it is given by the perpendicular upon base is the angle, you can say tangent theta is given by perpendicular upon base. So over here the perpendicular vector is your perpendicular magnitude is BB, and the you can say the base is nothing but BH, so perpendicular upon base, so BV by BH. So this will be the direction for the resultant magnetic field. So over here we have calculated the formulas for the BH, BV, B and the tangent of del, that is the direction of the resultant magnetic field. Over here with respect to this particular part, I am winding with the earth magnetism of the, you can say, chapter number 5 topic, and in the very next video I am going to come with the next chapter, that is the electromagnetic induction. I hope my videos are helping you out a lot, so thank you so much.